Tonight on Cronkite News, President Donald Trump calls for the deportation of some U.S. citizens earlier today. We'll have the latest on his meeting with the president of El Salvador.
And the Suns are making a change at the head coaching position once again. How this and other potential moves could shape their offseason.
Plus, how businesses around the valley are implementing new technology that is making one sport more convenient for the public. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Sebastian Mandaka.
And I'm Max Cepeda. Thank you for joining us.
We begin tonight with a major move by the Phoenix Suns, who have parted ways with head coach Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Sebastian. For the third straight offseason, the Suns will once again conclude a season as they look for a new leader on the bench. Our own Andres Armenta is out at PHX Arena in downtown with the latest as the Suns season officially came to an end yesterday in Sacramento. Andres, what's the latest?
Yeah, that's right, guys. The Phoenix Suns weren't shying away from making any sort of quick changes after the conclusion of the regular season. Owner Matt Ishbia firing head coach Mike Budenholzer. Budenholzer, though, a coach with recent success here in the NBA. You don't have to go that far back to realize that in 2021, he helped lead the Milwaukee Bucks to a championship ring over the same Phoenix Suns and just wasn't able to replicate any sort of success like that here in the Valley. The Suns finishing 10 games under 500, finishing 11th in the Western Conference, just missing out on a play-in opportunity by 3 games. And after an 8-1 start that looked promising, looked like the team was going to have success, injuries and just poor play overall doomed it for the team down the stretch. And that doom also fell on top of Budenholzer. The Suns issued a statement saying, quote, "Competing at the highest level remains our goal, and we failed to meet expectations this season. Our fans deserve better. Change is needed." Last week, Suns players said while the season was challenging, there's plenty of blame to go around.
It's easy to judge based off of a win-loss record, but I think there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
It sucks. Like, there's no way around it. Obviously, nobody wants to have their season end this early, and I think it's been a while for a lot of the guys in here. And yeah, I mean, you just got to take it on the chin and learn from it, grow from it.
And guys, for a team that has the highest payroll in all of the NBA, and Mike Budenholzer was reported to have clashes with players both in the locker room and with the stars like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, it's hard to justify not making any changes after missing out on the postseason. Reporting from PHX Arena, Andres Armenta, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks so much, Andres, and an unfortunate end to the season for a team with such high hopes that began this season back in October.
That's right, Max. Hopefully the Suns will turn things around next season. Thanks to Andres for his insight. History was made yesterday at Augusta National Golf Club when Rory McIlroy won the 89th Masters tournament to complete the Grand Slam, but not without making it interesting. McIlroy bogeyed the final hole to force a playoff against his good friend Justin Rose, but McIlroy pinpointed his approach shot and made a birdie putt to secure his first ever green jacket. Here's an emotional McIlroy after his legendary performance.
Look, it's a dream come true. I've dreamt about that moment for as long as I can remember. I mentioned it out in the prize ceremony, but watching Tiger here in 1997 do what he did and winning his first green jacket, I think that inspired so many of my generation.
With the 35-year-old's Masters victory, McIlroy completed the Grand Slam, which means he has won all 4 major championships at least once. He is only the 6th player ever to earn this achievement.
Now, speaking of McIlroy, this spring, the Tomorrow Golf League, or TGL, founded by PGA Tour legends Tiger Woods and McIlroy, brought simulator golf to primetime audiences across the nation. And our Max Williams discovered many businesses here in the Valley who are looking to capitalize on the latest indoor tech in the golf industry.
The sport of golf is ever evolving, and local businesses like Desert Links Indoor Golf Club in Phoenix are making the sport more convenient.
Once you book a tee time, you'll be sent a confirmation code, and in that confirmation email, you'll get an access code, and you'll use that access code to get into the facility. It's really as easy as that.
Desert Link's owner Paul Busaka has 2 indoor golf simulator bays where customers can play 24/7. I had to check out the games and professional courses, which are a big draw for many businesses.
Yeah. These courses are super hard, but they're a lot of fun, and you get that challenge, that experience to see what these pros are doing too, you know?
The true power in any indoor golf simulator is in the launch monitor, the device that tracks the swing of the golfer. While Desert Links commissioned popular brand TrackMan, there are plenty of different options across the market that all offer unique capabilities.
Indoors, we did track over 1.1 billion golf shots last year from over 700,000 golfers.
In Tempe, Loft Golf Studios uses a different software that offers over 1,300 online courses.
There are courses that don't exist. They're fictional courses. There's one I can think of, it's called Top of the World, and there are some where you're just teeing off of a cliff.
But it's more than just fun. Former GCU men's golfer Terrence Daniels is an instructor at Club Twirl Golf Lounge who helps both pros and beginners use the data to improve.
I can come in here and get a range session in. Every shot I have club speed, ball speed, how high, how low.
There are currently about 20 indoor golf simulator businesses in the Valley, and the simulator tech just keeps getting better. In Phoenix, Max Williams, Cronkite News.
Many of these business owners were excited to watch simulator tech gain popularity thanks to the TGL, which was won by the Atlanta Drive Golf Club back on March 25th, concluding its inaugural season.
And NFL legend Patrick Peterson announced today that he is retiring as a member of the Arizona Cardinals after signing a one-day contract with the team. The cornerback was the number 5 overall pick in the first round in 2011 by the Cardinals, where he spent the first 10 seasons of his career. Peterson's 28 interceptions ranked 6th in franchise history, and he was selected to the Pro Bowl 8 straight seasons while with Arizona.
I would love to be here, like I said, to help out the organization, be here to come to games, whatever it may be. You know, I'm all in now. I'm a part of the family now. I'm an Arizona Cardinal for life. So that's why, you know, I wanted to be here and be in front of you guys and retire as a Cardinal to show you guys that this is home.
It would be great to have Peterson back in the Valley and involved with the Cardinals for years to come. Coming up next, a softball program that has been making plenty of noise over the past few years.
Certainly have, Sebastian, and picking up 80 wins over the last 3 seasons, just how Desert Mountain softball has their eyes set on a three-peat. With 2 weeks to go into the playoffs, see how the Wolves are motivated to defend their state championship once again after the break.
Cooler temperatures are expected later this week, but not tomorrow. I'm Mihir Sinhasan, and your entire Cronkite News weather forecast is coming up right after this break.
Watch the mic just pick it up. Welcome back to Cronkite News. The D-backs had quite the weekend against the Birds at Chase Field, Max.
They certainly did, and despite getting shut out in Game 1 of the series on Friday night, the Snakes fought back to still win the series with one game ending in exciting fashion. On Saturday night, the D-backs would rally back, to put it mildly, to score all 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and a walk-off sacrifice fly by Lourdes Gurriel Jr. sealed things, winning 5-4 on Friday. But on Sunday, the Snakes bats would once again bounce back late with another 5-2 victory in Game 3. And with that series win, the D-backs roll into their off day today with 4 wins over their last 5 games.
And they hope to keep winning as they travel across the country to take on the Miami Marlins in Florida and then play the Cubs at Wrigley. A scary scene out in Tucson Saturday before a U of A baseball game. 2 paratroopers in the U.S. Armed Forces were injured during the pregame ceremony. During Arizona's Baseball Military Appreciation Night, 2 paratroopers descending from the sky with developed parachutes before having a hard landing. The Tucson Fire Department responded and transported the 2 paratroopers to a nearby hospital. Officials from the University of Arizona said 1 paratrooper suffered a back injury and the other had a dislocated shoulder, but both men are expected to make a full recovery.
Now, meanwhile, on a different kind of diamond, Arizona State softball had its most successful weekend of Big 12 play this past weekend when they went up to Utah and swept the Utes in a 3-game series. The Sun Devil Bats carried them throughout the series, scoring at least 7 runs in 2 of their 3 games. The Sun Devils started off with a bang, putting up 7 runs in Game 1 on Friday, including a 5-run 6th inning, while the pitching gave them a boost, holding the Utes to just 2 runs. ASU would then have to lean on their play in the circle and their defense in Game 2 as the Bats faltered, but ASU would come out victorious again in a close one, 3-2. And a near repeat of Game 1 on Sunday, the Sun Devils scored 7 again, but this time held the Utes to just 1 run. It was the first weekend series sweep of the season for the Sun Devils as they'll look to keep their momentum going against crosstown rival GCU in Tempe on Tuesday night. And there's a three-peat in the making at the high school softball level. After winning the last 2 state championships, Desert Mountain is poised for a 3rd.
That's right, Max. Cooper Holman has more on the Red Hawk Wolves, who are looking to make history.
Thank you, Miss
Desert Mountain, the defending 5A softball champion 2 years running, is now on their way to not only defend their title, but become the first team to three-peat since Red Mountain in the early 2010s. With the Wolves currently riding a 16-game win streak, head coach Chris Fredericks understands the mentality teams have when Desert Mountain comes up on the schedule.
We've been talking about this, for a couple of years now. It's like we're in a position where everybody that we play, it's their state championship game, and it's something that we have to embrace that opportunity that we have.
Even with the target on their back, Desert Mountain sits at 19-1-1 and is currently undefeated in their region. After their big win against O'Connor a few weeks ago, Zoe Horning described the vibe around the team, with the postseason right around the corner.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and it's definitely improved too over this week. I think we've done amazing in the dugout. I constantly hear us cheering and shouting, and we're all always supporting each other, so it's great.
Senior center fielder and GCU commit Mackenzie Byer felt the sting of losing in the postseason her freshman year, but now with 2 state championships under her belt, Byer is determined to capture the result of the last 2 seasons in her final year.
We're really excited and hoping for this last state championship, and so just a lot of, obviously a ton of emotions, but we're just trying to get out there and grind and do everything we can for this next state championship.
With less than 2 weeks to play, Desert Mountain will look to continue their surge and hopefully find themselves back in the championship game to defend their title. Just like the saying goes, all good things come in 3s. In North Phoenix, Cooper Holman, Cronkite News.
Desert Mountain currently ranks #1 in the state and 31st in the national rankings.
They do indeed, and the Wolves' path to a three-peat continues today when they play Saguaro High School.
Well, it's not been ideal weather for a softball game here in the Valley, with temperatures hovering around the century mark over the last few days.
Hey, but the positive news, Sebastian, we do have a big cool down headed our way. And for more on that, Mahir Sinhasan joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center to tell us all about it. Mahir, when is the cool down coming?
Well, Max, it's going to come sooner rather than later, but it's not going to happen tonight as we take a look at our evening planner. Again, 89 degrees right now. That's going to dip into 83 at around 10 o'clock. So still warm outside. No need for a coat if you're going to leave the house. but you might need a coat if you are up north as we take a look at our lows into Tuesday. Window Rock 35, Flagstaff 32, Grand Canyon 30, but overall the west side is the best side here in State 48. Bullhead City 64, Lake Havasu City 68, Quartzsite 62, back here in the valley 65 degrees. Those warm lows are going to lead to hot highs for Tuesday afternoon, and we're going to take a look at the southeast corner here, give some love to them. Safford 93, Tucson 93 as well, Tombstone and Douglas a little bit coolish as you head to the night, but overall highs will be in the upper 80s as you start off Tuesday afternoon. 94 degrees back here in the valley. That's the start off for your 8-day forecast, which is overall going to be pretty hot as you take a look at it here. Wednesday 94, but you're going to see a cool down into Thursday, 81 degrees there. After that, though, you're going to see the cool front really take over as you head into the weekend. Friday and Saturday, a chance for some precipitation as well. 78 on Friday, 73 on Saturday, and then you see an increase as you head back and you start off your Easter week. 82 on Easter Sunday, 90 degrees on Tuesday. This is Mahir Sinhasan from the Cronkite News Weather Center. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Mahir. And one quick clarification we want to make. Earlier we said the D-backs walk-off win was on Friday night, but that game was on Saturday. So quick clarification for all of you at home. But coming up next, a look at the news headlines from around the nation and right here in Arizona.
That's right, Max, including a local organization that is helping immigrants overcome a huge obstacle.
There is just fear about interacting with a lot of systems, whether that's the court system or calling police.
After the break, we'll have more on how this organization is helping the most vulnerable in our community.
Is opportunity.
We do news right at Cronkite News, serving a community ethically, honestly, and truthfully.
And we can provide a necessarily different angle, different voice for those people that really need it.
The students, they have a lot of passion for journalism.
I get to do a lot of stories about the Hispanic community.
And we have access to cover all of these sorts of events and get media coverage of all these different personalities and athletes, and that's just a huge thing.
But it's also a chance for people here to be humanized. Individuals of all walks of life.
Cronkite News will help take the next generation of journalists onto their next careers.
I am old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
We're putting a lot of pride on his name because we are practicing a lot of the things that he did.
I think he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I.
We are Cronkite.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Ari Wall with your news headlines. Arizona ranks 5 for high rates of domestic violence, and getting help is difficult. Cronkite News reporter Nicole Macias Garabay spoke with representatives from a local organization.
Alma Cruz has a talent and a dream. Using only eggs, flour, and oil, this 39-year-old mother of 3 creates magic.
Since I was a little girl, I liked to watch my mom bake cakes. Everything was basic for us, and I was curious about it.
Cruz learned how to turn this passion into her business at the Préstamos Women Business Center. They invited Cruz to debut her products at Jefas Mercado.
The Jefa could mean a businesswoman who's incredibly empowered and she's out there being a boss, but she also can represent a mother.
The road has not been easy. Cruz has overcome many challenges to get to where she's now.
I'm one of those people that when I get to the bottom of something, I get up with more courage.
One of the challenges she overcame is domestic violence. According to the Maricopa County attorney, almost 43% of women in Arizona have experienced this.
Purple wooden figure behind me represents Carla Kraft. She was killed by her husband on their home. Hers is one of many lives that are lost due to domestic violence.
Being an immigrant like Cruz brings a unique additional set of challenges.
There is just fear about interacting with a lot of systems, whether that's the court system or calling police. A lot of people just fear interaction with those systems. They fear deportation.
Some immigrants don't understand English and don't know where to go to ask for help. With more than 80 beds, a kitchen, and bilingual staff, De Colores offers a safe place to heal.
So they never have to be alone in this process. And so that's very important to have somebody that not only speaks your language, but looks like you at the same time. It feels more like home.
Pastelta won't stay a dream thanks to Cruz's hard work and community support.
Through its program, Chicanos por la Causa is opening the doors for finding hope and strength to Latinas facing domestic violence. In the newsroom, Nicole Macias Garibay, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Nicole. The Arizona Democratic Party hosted a People's Town Hall in Tucson yesterday to discuss potential health care cuts by the Trump administration. While the White House said it would not cut programs like Medicaid or Social Security, Democratic leaders say they're concerned over the future of these programs. U.S. Senators Mark Kelly and Cory Booker attended the meetings, as well as Tucson Mayor Regina Romero. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump met with El Salvador's president earlier today to discuss Trump's immigration policies. A major focus was the Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador's notorious prison. The Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return to the U.S. However, the administration said it would be up to El Salvador if they want to return him. But El Salvador's president said he, quote, doesn't have the power to do so.
I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States?
Trump also stated that he is open to deporting, quote, homegrown criminals. El Salvador's president said he agreed to house violent U.S. criminals as well as deportees of any nationality. The current job market has many people feeling uncertain. A new survey by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York found that 44% of consumers believe the national unemployment rate will rise next year. That is the highest response since April 2020. The survey also found that many people are feeling insecure about the future of their own jobs. However, the U.S. job market has remained steady, and the continued labor market has resulted in strong consumer spending and economic growth. And Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is taking the stand in Washington, D.C. as part of Meta's antitrust case. The Federal Trade Commission is accusing Meta of building a social media monopoly by buying startups and through its acquisition of Instagram and WhatsApp. There will be no jury for this trial, so a judge will be faced with the ultimate decision, which could include the possible dismantling of Meta's social media empire. That's it for your news headlines. I'm Ari Wall. Back to Max and Sebastian.
Thank you, Ari. Mission accomplished. Coming up next, a successful mission to space went off without a hitch this morning.
Certainly did, Sebastian. But what made this human space flight so monumental? When we come back, find out more about the significance of the Blue Origin mission and who was on board.
As a teacher, you just want to reach people. You want to make a difference. You want to help them. I have an opportunity to do something I never imagined I would be able to do. Go out and build the best biology class the world has ever seen.
Roger, roger.
When you go into Dreamscape Learn, you put on a set of goggles and you can go anywhere. You can be anyone and do anything. The thing about Arizona State University is they're always thinking about what's next. We can create virtual reality experiences so that you can learn by exploring in a virtual world the way that scientists explore in the real world. And kids can feel that. All these emotions are what help the brain encode information. When I see a student come out of VR, the look on their face is nothing like I've ever seen when I finish a lecture. They look so happy to be there in that moment. You know that you've reached them.
And it is surrender to the unknown.
Welcome back. Owner of Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, welcomed back his crew from space earlier today.
Absolutely did, Sebastian. But what makes this flight so special was that it was the first female-only space flight since 1963. The 6-person crew included multiple notable names like Grammy-nominated artist Katy Perry and award-winning television journalist Gayle King. Jeff Bezos also sent his fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, to space, and the crew went on a fully autonomous 10-minute joyride above the internationally recognized boundary of space and safely landed this morning.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Sebastian Mdaka.
And I'm Max Cepeda. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.